So I'm just going to mute you all. All right. Make sure I've turned myself down. There we go. Okay, I'm all set. So today I did my embodiment PSA about spirals and undulations. And sometimes we think of the undulation being something big that's moving through our whole body, but we can also really think about it as coming out to these edges of our hands, spirals, undulations. All of that stuff is going to really shift the tissue around in a healthy way. With the fluids so that it can sort of readjust, renegotiate the space inside of our own bodies. So we're going to work with a chair today. I have one of these like $8 from Home Depot dealies, and you can use something else, but those are pretty comfortable because they have the rounded edges and they're not going to fall over too easily. So just to talk more about this, undulations and spirals, like if we just move in sort of rigid linear patterning, we're not giving the full kind of life force and vitality to our whole body. So we want to invite in these different sort of patterns, particularly because like the tips of our fingers and the tips of our toes are the furthest things away from our heart and from our nervous system. So like, and our nerves, our vascular system is routed out through our fascia, through our body in kind of little bundles with our blood vessels. Like things aren't traveling off there by themselves. They're usually in these little bundles of stuff moving out together, coming back in together. So they're like these really intense communication systems going through our whole body, and they're not going by themselves. They're in direct relationship with each other. So the idea is that if we ripple all the way out to the edge, coming into the edge, and then from the edge back in, we're just creating this sort of maybe healthier movement loop or healthier feedback loop that has kind of more refined qualities all the way out to the edges. Meaning, and there's the reason for this is that we want to integrate so we're not getting like neuropathy or arthritis or any of the things that are going to come out into our joints, like especially if we're kind of rigid in our bodies. So we can move with more fluidity, we can hydrate that tissue, we can integrate the relationship of our hands to our body. So let's just inhale open, breathing into our lungs, feeling into our bodies. Exhale, bend your knees, inhale, open it up, reach away from center, and exhale, let it go, and inhale, lift and open, and exhale, let it go. Let's reach out in a way so we're open up in the shape of an X and just kind of amorphously move. So inviting your spine to free up, inviting your arms to free up, start to add spiraling to your arms, maybe to your spine. We're going to get that in when we come closer. And think about your movement being as easy as possible. So you're not working with every piece of tension you've got, but you're making it as light and flowy as possible, just spiraling and finding this relationship of center out to the edge, but also of undulation and spiral in your body. Relaxing the neck, the throat, the tongue. Right, so some part of our body might learn something really well, and sometimes we can transfer that information to another part of our body and go, oh yeah, I can do the same thing over here, or even like, my throat, my neck, my tongue. Let's take it to a seated position on our chair. Also, I just started to open up some like Eventbrite classes and stuff like that. So if you search for me on Eventbrite, I am going to be doing things particularly now and in January. I'm going to do like a space class, a really basic relating to space class in January. It's going to be 2 hours on January 7th in the afternoon. That it will be on Eventbrite. It's only $20. Side stretch. Inhale, open, like my advertising side stretch. And open it up. So center to the edge, radiating outward, and then we come back up. Center to the edge. So my arm and my leg are both radiating out. I'm kind of pulling in this bottom side to support me. Right, and then let's just take a side sort of undulation. So shifting from your tail to your head. See if you can let your head go off vertical and inviting some free flow into your body. So you don't need to make this full of tension. Make it as easy as possible, right? Tension makes it harder to move often. Like when we're holding things, it also masks sensation. So if we're holding tension in different parts of our body, it's a way of not feeling things. It's a way of shutting stuff off. So we're just trying to bring things back online with this sideness. You can push with your leg and reach away, push and reach away. So an undulation that is from the distal, from the foot all the way up through the body, from my foot through my body, from my foot all the way out to my head. Okay, let's do it forward, backward. We'll start with rounding. So I'm going to go parallel, dropping my head, rolling down, and then lengthening out from my head to my tail and arching up. Getting tall over the top, curling, rolling it down, reaching it out, opening, arching to come up. So getting tall, it's like you're lifting yourself up and over, rounding down, reaching out and opening. And let's add that pattern of really center to edge, core distal, with the curling. In the curl, you're going to sort of do the same thing with your hands and feet. So I'm going to kind of curl up my feet and my hands, curling up as I round down. Then I'm going to splay out my fingers on my toes, radiating out with my spine. So curling up, rounding your spine, and then radiating out and arching and opening, curling and rounding, and then arching out and opening, curling and rounding down, and arching out and opening. Then we're going to change it so we'll arch down and curl up. So you're radiating away from center, radiating, opening up. Fingers and toes are radiating outward. We're arching, long, long, long spine. And then we sort of surrender at the bottom. Let the fingers curl down, let the toes curl down, and the spine curls up. Radiating out. And we can actually going to turn this out too. Arch, 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 and open. And then we're going to turn in slightly, curl, hands and feet, and roll it up. Out, radiating out, opening, 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 and then release. Back to parallel, hands and fingers and toes down. Arch and open, all the way down, hollow and curl up. One more. Arch and open, and hollow and curl. Let's just do a tiny little pattern. So like thinking of initiating with your head. So your head goes down, you go a little bit forward and ripple up. So I'm going to show you what that looks like sideways on me. It's like this. Doesn't have to be super big, just a little bit of movement waving through your body. Head initiates. Actually, let's do this standing. So I'm just going to do the same thing, standing up. But I'm going to start with my head, through my chest, through my pelvis, through my knees. Head, chest, pelvis, knees. Head, chest, pelvis, knees. Head, chest, pelvis, knees. Then I'm going to change it from the bottom. I'm going to bend my knees, pelvis, chest, head. Knees, pelvis, chest, head. Just rippling from the bottom to the top. Feeling the ground beneath your feet. And rippling up. Good. And then let's do a side-side pattern. So we did that side-side pattern on our butts, but let's start with our head. And then it ripples through head. It's kind of Stevie Wonder, Axl Rose, through your head to your tail. And there's a little bit of forward, backward moving. So it's got an undulation and a little bit of a spiral happening at the same time. And if you feel like you've got some cricketiness in your neck and shoulders, make it smaller. Invite it to let go, but make it a little smaller and gentler. Sometimes we have like a pain in our body, so we keep like pushing into it, and we don't give it a chance to actually heal, right? Because we're always jamming into it. Trust me, I have spent a lot of time doing that. So sometimes if we just get smaller and more gentle and more internal, we can allow some of that stuff to release. All right, we're going to put all these patterns together. We haven't done the spiraling yet, so let's start with spiraling. So you're just going to spiral, look around behind you, and then changing sides, one side and then the other. And I'm letting my legs internally rotate as well. So I'm spiraling, keep going all the way back as far as you can. You can inhale forward and exhale back. Use your chair, if you've got one, to lean against or to push against. Now we're going to change it and make it a little bit smaller. So my feet are going to be parallel. My legs are going to stay on the floor. I'm just going to reach back with one elbow, look over my shoulder, reach back with the other. So we're just taking it in really to the central channel. Let your head turn, let your eyes see what's around you. There's a little caddo back there, the pea pod. And then coming back in, and then we'll put the whole thing together. So opening up, and we'll take it first into a side stretch. So it's going to go side stretch, and then just keep surrendering. Turn towards your leg, take it down, circle the arm back and up. Sort of the discus thrower, is that right? They're kind of in this weird position before they throw. And then you're going to circle the arm up and take it back into the arch. Open, open, open. Let the arm continue to circle around behind you, and then sweep through the horizontal plane. Pick up the back leg, point your toes, and then serve the sandwiches to the whole universe. Side stretch. Keep it going. Surrender forward. Turn down. The arm is going to come back and up. I don't know. There's something like Greek statue about that. And then, I don't know. That's the Olympian moment as we're preparing to throw something. Spiral and twist. And then open, 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 open. Oh, side stretch. Almost went past that. Side, 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 side. Let this whole rib cage, lungs, side body open. Surrender. Relax. Take the arm back and up. And then, yeah, there's like those interesting things, the discus, the shot put. Oh, I'm going to keep circling my arm back and take it around. And then open it out. Side stretch. Sideways, 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 sideways. Continue, continue. Surrender. Turn toward the floor. Circle the arm back and up. Circle it down. Scoop the water. Open the heart, chest, and lungs. Keep the arms circling and spiral all the way around. Pick up your back leg, hamstring, butt, hello. And then circle, open it out. Sideways, surrender down, circle the arm back and up. You could straighten the back leg there if you want to, or you can bend the knee. You can also play with it, bending and straightening. It's going to change what is stretching in your body. If you pump through that a little bit, open, spiral around, look at the back leg. Let's keep it there. Just pulse it up. 1, 2, 3. Now you feel your butt, and then circle, open it out. Side stretch, side, 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 side. Surrender down to the floor, face the floor, circle the arm back. Back knee bent or straight. Inhale up, check it, pumping that leg a couple times. Feel the difference, right? Just feel what it is for you. And then come all the way around, pick up the back leg, pulsing 1, 2, 3, and serve the sandwiches. And let's come into center and take it down and just release your spine. Wriggle, undulate from tail to head. Imagine that from your tailbone all the way through the crown of your head, there is a free flowing kinetic chain of movement that is not stuck anywhere. And if it feels like it is stuck somewhere, just go, okay, that's there, and then continue on and don't worry about it. Let it just be that way. And then let's roll up, coming all the way up to the top. I want to do some stuff. Let's do some hip release stuff. So you're going to take your legs out in front of you, crossing one over, just take it down. Breathe into it. Hang out there. So for some people who have tight hips, they're going to feel a stretch there. For some people, they might not. Breathe into it. You can try turning your head gently from side to side, inviting the neck and shoulders to relax. And then come in and undo it. Other side, ankle over your knee. Take it down. Breathe. Yeah, so I'm also going to do like a movement for meditators course, which will probably start sometime in early 2023. And then coming up, releasing that. And let's just do some circles. So I teach a lot of isolations, not in this class, but in my other classes, which some of you guys have taken. But and a lot of people have a hard time doing that rib cage isolation because they're standing. So instead of doing the ribs, they're doing their hips. But we're here on our chair, so let's just move the ribs one way, move the ribs the other. So rib cage like an old-fashioned typewriter side stretch from one side to the other. You can think of, so your lungs are in there, and then there's your diaphragm up under here, your liver, pancreas, spleen, stomach, all that stuff is in there. Organs, thinking of that nice sliding surface so that everything can move easily. Also, we want to think, it's interesting, like our culture really emphasizes pulling up and in, but that's like, we want our stomach to be able to descend and go down. We want our digestion to descend. We want, if we have a baby, we want the baby to go down and out, right? We don't want it all stuck up here. So just letting stuff drop and move so that there's a relationship to moving down in our bodies, not just pulling up, but we have this grounded relationship downwards as well as this lengthening up, right? There's the vertical dimension, the up and down. Let's take the rib cage forward and back, just the ribs moving forward, rib cage back. It's also pretty much an arch and curl, but I'm staying more vertical as opposed to rolling it forward the way we started in the beginning. Good, and then let's take the ribs and just circle them around. Now, if you have a bony butt, that might feel a little bit uncomfortable on your chair. So think of yielding in so that you're not like smashing your bones into your chair, but you're supporting it with the fluid in your body, and thinking of even the bones as being kind of fluid inside. Change direction, other way. Rib cage, lungs, and heart. I'm certain that there would be a lot less heart disease in the world if people moved through these patterns. We are also moving our whole like vascular structure, our heart and our lungs, right? We are moving all of that tissue. And when it moves, it gets more chance to be elastic and alive. All right, let's come off of the chair. And we're going to go a little bit more with undulation in this position. So feet on the floor, tail back, and just see if you can send some ripples and waves from your tail to your head, or from your tail, from your head to your tail, either way, like just rippling and waving up and down. Inviting the fluid in your body to express in a wave-like manner. So if you're thinking exercise-wise, like how do I get my muscles to do that? It's gonna kind of block the capacity to move really well. Maybe not, it's just gonna take a little bit longer. So see if you can move from the fluid in your body instead of moving from the bones and muscles, just letting waves ripple up and down. And you can add some side, so free up the pattern. So we have maybe some spirals, some ripples, some waves that are much more the way that water really expresses in the natural world, which is much more three-dimensional than a lot of our movements, very non-linear. Let's add the arms, letting yourself ripple and wave in any way that feels interesting. Oh, the kitty looks so happy back there in her little spot. Is directly behind me. There she is. Yeah, so my top hand is going up, and I'm getting that ripple all the way from the bottom up through the top of my hand. I can spiral that arm up there as well, waking up wrists, forearms, right? So that I have, especially if we're spending a lot of time on a computer where our arms are kind of in one position, or texting where we're just going thumb crazy, right? Let's wake up the relationship from our fingertips down through our heart, from our spine, out through our peripheral nervous system, out to the edges and back again. So we're just waking that up. And maybe it feels good to arch a little bit there, right, on that side stretch. As we change our relationship to gravity, the possibilities of change and stretching and hydration change as well. right? So letting yourself shift from side to side. If you want to make it harder, you can take your weight so that you're really holding weight on your hands. Just be careful that your chair doesn't fold up on you. Yes, maintain some awareness of what's going on with your prop. And then let's change it to legs. So letting your legs go out. Can you ripple and wave out through your legs? You can definitely spiral from your hip socket. So play with the spirals and the ripples and waves. Maybe it's a whole body connection. Maybe it's like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? That's fine too. If you're feeling challenged, that is a great place for neuroplasticity, right? Change legs if you haven't. Play with the inner outer spiral. See if you can get that ripple and wave coming out and in. One more time each side, or just alternating. Listen to your own body. Evening yourself out. Yeah, and I'm just going for this little, oh, you can't even see my feet anymore. Action through my feet so that I am going over one side and then the other. Yeah, if you've got wrist issues, you can also hold the edge of your chair, right? So it's not just putting tension in to your hand to wrist, but you can find that in a different way. Just an option. Waking up through the toes, right? Just that part. Distal edge. Hello, toes. My socks are getting all wonky. Good. And let's come up to standing and just walk around for a second. So walk around your chair, let your body readjust. Anytime you've done something kind of different, coming back to walking is going to be like, oh, yes, I'm just a person. Coming into that walking pattern, visiting anyone in the room that you need to visit. Shake it out and let it go. And let's come onto our backs on the floor with the chair. So the chair is going to be in front of you. You're going to come down and put your legs on it. Once you get down there, just take a second to settle into the floor. Letting your body relax down. So in a sense, we could say we're giving the water in our body a chance to pool downwards toward the floor, letting our body really take in the gravitational pull of the earth, right? It helps us create form. What's that thing they used to say that you wake up in the morning, you're half an inch taller after your body's had a chance to elongate at night? All right, let's start to just let our calves and feet, again, feel this pattern of core distal, center to edge, as you give yourself a little massage on the edge of your chair, right? So I am getting in there with my calves. That's the other thing. If we get into our fascia, like our Achilles tendon, all these different muscles back here, gastrocnemius, what are they called? Peroneals, I think the popliteus. There's a bunch of muscles back there, and we don't want them all gummed up, right? We want them to have some capacity to shear against each other. So when we're on this surface and we can move through it, and also if we're moving our foot at the same time as rubbing through that with the calf, we're really going to be shifting the muscles and fascia on the inside as well as from the outside. So I feel like for me, like healing tissue or giving it more resilience comes when I'm working in two different ways. Like I'm working from the inside by rubbing across, right? I'm rubbing through, or from the outside by rubbing across, but I'm working from the inside by moving those muscles because I'm moving my foot. And so a lot of the muscles that are coming in and connecting up here and like around the top of close to your knee, go all the way down into your toes. So when we get that pattern of movement, toes up to knee, even if you put your hand on your leg and circle your foot around, you're going to feel how much movement is coming up in there. Right? So we want to get that moving from the inside and the outside. And if you feel like it, you can also just get into your feet in a couple of different ways. If you have one of the chairs like this, you can use that bottom one, or you can also get onto the edge of this, just waking up the soles of your feet, right? One of the great crimes of life are shoes. I mean, not that I don't like shoes, because I certainly do, and in my life have loved shoes, but the things that they do to our feet are really brutal. And we want our feet to wake up, open up, that our toes should be able to spread away from each other, not be all stuck together like this, right? Can you imagine if our hands were like that? What could we do? Think of the same thing with your feet, so that they have dexterity, right? You can spread your toes out, you can move them around. Your toes aren't all stuck together. All right. And from there, we are going to start to press up and come down with our pelvis, pressing away from the floor and down. You can also let your body move. So, right, so this could be like, we could do a pattern of undulation from there in different directions. It's easier to do it from your legs to your head, but you can go both ways. So if it's possible to think about that undulation while your pelvis is free in the air, do it, go for it. And then shift from side to side. Let that move again through your calves. If you need a break, come down. You could also just circle your pelvis up there, right? Feeling your whole body as one living system. So I saw this hilarious post on Instagram of Marlo Fiskin, and she's like a pole dancer, an incredible pole dancer, incredible mover, just gorgeous. And she's at the gym and she's pulling on like one of the machines and she's doing these undulations, and somebody's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I'm breaking through the toxic culture of linear movement at the gym. And I'm also freeing up my spine and hydrating tissue and whatnot." But it's a beautiful post. She's a gorgeous mover. And so some people are like, "Oh, undulations are the thing. They're becoming popular." It's like, well, they're healthy. It's healthy to do those patterns of undulation. Maybe it's going to free up some feelings in your body that have been locked down. I remember somebody once saying that the pelvis, it was in a yoga class, they called the pelvis the emotional graveyard. So free up your emotional graveyard. Let some of that shit just spray out. Let it go. Maybe and release it and come down. Let your back go. It may be like repressed sexual feelings. It may be like memories of something that happened, which could be horrific, but it could also be wonderful, right? All this stuff is stored in your body. So what you can do if things become too much is stop moving, relax, give your body a chance to process, right? Let it go. It all doesn't have to happen at once. I showed my mom a video of Susan Harper moving in this like super fluid undulatory pattern. She's in a forward fold and you just see her back and you can almost not tell what it is. And my mom was like, "Why would I want to be able to do that?" And it's just, I mean, that visceral fear, shock, restriction response to something new is very human. So I was like, well, that's about as alive as you can get in your body. And it wasn't like, she wasn't doing like massive, like it wasn't hyperextending this and that. It was just really fluid movement. And it looked like a sea creature. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's called Intrinsic Movement. Let's take our chair and get rid of it. And we're going to use some weights. Like, if we move differently, we will feel differently. And if we start to move out of patterns that are familial, cultural, political, then it could be threatening to us, right? It might actually, depending on where we live, really be threatening to us, right? There's places where you're not allowed to dance, where you're not allowed to move, where you're not allowed to express in certain ways. You want to repress people? Don't let them move or make them all move in the same way. Let's circle the hands around. Big circle, opening up. Nice movement in the rotator cuff. My knees are together and my feet are wide. So I'm in this pigeon-toed and knock-kneed position as I'm circling around. You can do this with no weights also, but for me, this gives me such a nice massage through my upper back. Change direction. And I'm also getting this core distal relationship, especially when I weight the edge of my body, right? I'm putting weights in my hands. Open, open, exhale. Now, having said it about my mom, oh my God, she's seen like all my dance performances and all that kind of stuff. So like if she'd seen that in the context of a dance performance, she probably would have been like, oh, that's so cool. But when she looked at it, somehow it was threatening to her. I hope you changed direction. I did. Let's take our hands. We're going to do this. So it's going to be just a little quarter spiral from your rotator cuff and your shoulder girdle out through your fingertips. You can do this with no weights if you've got any kind of issues in there. So I'm going to start with my hands facing down, inhaling, arms over my head. Pelvis is going to go up and down. And then my hands are going to face each other, palms facing each other, up and down. And then my palms are facing up, taking it up and down. And then I'm spiraling, palms out, up and down. So I have a 3-pound weight, which is maybe heavy for this. This might be better with a 1-pound weight or something like that. I do a lot of stuff where I'm really hanging off a pole. So I do have a certain amount of integration in there. So if it's too much, then don't do it with a weight. Inhale, arms facing each other, palms facing each other, palms facing down, palms facing up, and then spiraling so the palms are facing out. And one more time, palms face each other, palms face up, palms face down, and palms face out. Good, and then coming in, let's take your arms up and you're just going to go race car driving, as if you have one of those race car that have those like wheels that you hold on like that. It's not a circle, it's like 2 sides. So take the race car wheel and move it around. Feel your scapula moving underneath you. Let your spine free up. So the whole head-tail connection is working as you turn the car one way, the other way. Yeah. And then let's open it a little wider and the same thing. So now you got like a truck that you're maneuvering. Big circle. Let your shoulders move. Scapula. So we're playing with this collarbone humerus scapula connection, right? We're playing with this relationship of all of this whole upper quadrant together. Also, our radius and ulna, all up through our wrists, getting this tissue to do all this extra spiraling. So it's not just because it's so much fun to drive the race car, but it also has some utility. Race car driving, utilitarian race car driving. Good. And then let's release that and get rid of our weights. Actually, I think we're going to use them again, but we're going to come onto all fours. So have them nearby. This is going to be, we'll see how it goes. Onto your hands and knees. You could grab both weights or just one and just elbow up. Lawnmower hole. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, really opening up. 8, 9, 10. Switch it to the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, so like we have these patterns that we're moving through our body, the spirals and undulations, but we also want to have more linear patterns, right? More traditional patterns of, I'm not saying those are all bad. Those are good too. We just need a variety pack. Like, have you done your fitness today? Have you done your somatics today? Have you taken your dance class? Maybe it's 1 2, 3 on different days. It doesn't all have to be the same. Let's take it onto our sides. We're gonna go back and in. I'm gonna try this with a weight, opening up, pulling it in. I'm not recommending you do it with a weight, I'm just trying it out. You might like it. Up and in, open, close. 5 more. Core distal, out to the edge. 4, I'm putting my weight down so I can get back further. 3, 2, last one. And switch it to the other side. Again, weight or no weight, really up to you. I'm going to start out with the weight, then I'm going to get rid of it. Coming up, elbow to knee, reaching back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, getting rid of my weight, taking it a little deeper. 1, more freedom. 2, 3, 4, 5, and coming in to sit on my butt. And I'm going to just do a little walk forward, butt walk, and walk back. Oh, wow. Yeah, so that does some weird stuff. Like it allows the relationship of my hamstring into my sit bone to do some different things than what it's normally doing. Try it again. And we want these diverse patterns in our body, right? If you had no legs, you could still locomote, you could still walk. Good. And let's open up into a straddle. Circling, ribcage, lungs, and heart. Let your head free up. So thinking of your pelvis, your ribcage, and your cranium all getting to move around in a little free flow circly pattern. And change direction, breathing. Good. And let's take the arms outside side, taking it over to one side. Let's just circle that arm. So big arm circle, following your hand with your eyes as you're in the side stretch. And if this hurts in the rotator cuff, make it smaller. Change direction other way, open it out. So tiny spiral in my spine as I'm going down and then up. Good. And then taking it over to the other side. Same thing, side stretch, arm circle, little spiral. Inhale, open, exhale, close. And change direction, opening and closing. So it's not the biggest spiral in my spine, but a little bit of movement down and up. One more. And then let's take it flexing, arching, arching, arching all the way down and point and curl and roll it up. Flex, out, out, out. Everything radiates away from center and then point, curl, hollow in. 2 more, flex and arch, open, open, open. Point and curl. Last one, flex, arch, open, open, point and curl and come up. Let it go, free up your spine. We're going to just move these things. We're going to go onto our butts and just roll across one butt cheek, roll across the other. So a simple, easy knee drop from one side to the other, letting that massage out your legs, letting that massage out your butt. Windshield wipers with the knees. Easy little spiral in your body. Now we're gonna spiral and reach it out. You can take your arm up if you want and bring it in and spiral and reach it out, radiating away from center, bringing it back in. Spiral, reach and open. Bring it back in, spiral, reach and open. Bring it in, spiral, twist and arch or not. Bring it in, spiral, twist and arch, and bring it in. And let's go all the way onto our backs. Taking your arms out, side, side, hands palm down, twisting head away from your legs. Big spiral in your spine. If you want to straighten out your legs, go for it. Using your arms, using your whole torso, pushing the floor away, dropping and lifting. arms and back, working with the legs. Okay, let's do this. Let's bend your knees, roll it onto your side, and then push the floor away like you're going to come up, and then you're going to come right back down to the floor, roll across your back until you're all the way on your side and push the floor away. So this could be an undulation up. You could head your way down, or you could come from the bottom. So, right, when it's like in yoga, they sometimes do like lift from your rib cage. So you're like come undulating up, or you could lift from your head, which is less comfortable. Just play around with it. Drop down, rolling over, just seeing where it feels good to initiate the movement from. Like I could initiate from my ribs to go down, which takes a little bit more work. Playing with the pattern of getting up and surrendering into the floor, rolling across it in a really gentle manner so that you're not fighting with the floor. You're just melting in and rolling from side to side. Okay, let's roll it over onto our stomachs. So coming to your belly on the mat. Let's curl your toes under and press up, pushing forward and backward. Long body. Again, waking up. And let's just try an undulation. It might be too much. You can put your knees down and undulate. And relax. Let it go. Bend your knees. Don't hurt yourself. Roll it from side to side. Soften your spine. Let go. Taking your hands next to your chest. Baby Cobra, no hands. Inhale up. Exhale down. Use your breath. Go ahead and connect your hands, coming all the way up. Let's take our butt back all the way into a child's pose. From here, you're going to take your chin towards the floor, butt to the ceiling, elbows to the side, dive through, come up into your cobra, round your spine, take it back to your child's pose. Chin to the floor, butt to the ceiling, elbows to the sides, dive through, push up, circle round and take it back. One more time. Let's go the other way. You're going to round up over the top, take it down all the way, lift your butt, push with your hands, taking it back, rounding your spine up over the top, all the way down, lift your butt, elbows to the side, one more, up and over, and take it back. Good. So that's going to do a lot of stuff in your rotator cuff, again, in that relationship of scapula, humerus, collarbone. All right. I feel like we've been going for quite a long time. Let me look at my clock. It's true. We're getting there. So let's do one thing with our legs from here. I'm finding all sorts of little bits of small things. That's what happens when you get down on the floor. It's like, this looks like a little piece of a broken balloon. I just found a flax seed, like vacuuming, not vacuuming. Well, we vacuum a lot, but there's 3 cats here. We need to vacuum even more. Over to the side, up and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bend it in, flex it, and point it. Bend, flex, point, bend, flex, point, bend, flex, point. Last one, bend, flex, point, and switch it to the other side. 5 up and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bend, flex, point, bend, flex, point, bend, flex, point. 2 more, bend, flex, point. Last one, bend, flex, point, and take it down. Just take it to a child's pose for a second. Let go. Yummy. Soften, melt, get into the floor. Wiggle around. Surrender. Let go. Let your head totally drop. Free up your spine. Breathe. Wiggle. Undulate. Could just be side, easy and loose, letting it go. And then roll it up, coming all the way up to the top. And we'll do a hip stretch to end it. Let's come into one foot in front of the other. So I'm here, one foot's in front of the other, just taking it down in that open position, breathing. And then come up and switch it so the other leg is in front, taking it down. And then release and come up. Bring both legs out and give them a little bang. Rotate in and out. Let's do ankle to knee pose. So ankle over your knee, the other one underneath. You might try just a little bit of undulation up here or here, spiraling, just freeing it up. Let it go. Breathe. Taking it down. Again, mobilize and free up your spine. Head-tail connection, easy. Lots of space in your spinal cord, lots of room. Not letting those little calcifications happen because we're going to keep moving. And if they are, we're going to invite the movement to make them a little more fluid. Or the fluid to start to like break them up. And then when you're ready, come up and unscramble, bang it out, rotate in and out, loose and easy. Switch it to the other side. Breathing. Again, freeing up, head, tail, rippling through your body. Undulations, waves, spirals, whirlpools, and eddies. And then release and unscramble. Give a little bang, rotate in and out. Slide your heels underneath you. Take your butt up to the ceiling. Shifting from side to side, let it go. Breathing, easy and loose. And come in, slowly roll it all the way up. And let's just do those undulations from the bottom to the top. So bend your knees, ripple up, make it as easy as possible. So you're taking the tension out of your body. You're not necessarily trying to do your biggest undulation, but just something that feels light and easy. So you're not adding tension. And then try it from the head down. So head through your spine. You may find one of those is easier than the other. Good. And then the side, axle rose. Doesn't have to be big, can be very small, could just be a little bit, but could also be bigger. Neck, throat, jaw, relax. Good. And then just shake it all out. Let it go. Any extra tension in your body. Inhale, bring in the good stuff. Exhale, shake out whatever you don't need. Again, inhale. Filling up, nourishing your body. Exhale. Letting go. And last one. Inhale, open, and exhale, release and wiggle. Good. So all my TV land people, of which I don't think there are any right now. That's okay. Future watchers, feel free to like and subscribe and even consider buying me a coffee. It will all be down there in the description.